Masinja Tama Cheche Tuta Nyo Nyo Yang Taba Zobe Sanje Kubo Ru Chichi Yang Toba Cha Te Sheto Tambe Chuyo Namba Taba Sen Nyambe Kono Jikiwa Na Leba Se Tone Sembara Shu.
So first we have to set the motivation and the proper motivation of the Bodhicitta, and thinking that one is taking these teachings as a means to attain a state of enlightenment in order to benefit all sentient beings.
다 senje chuge samde cho chuge lamshi shu tsar kasin ta kabari shio de ta je dang de shu de ta gang log ni bu ya wu yu ji re sang du ten ji ba che ta ni ba ba du long go lam che de la sung le sia de ji ze me sung de za chen bu yi za za we chue ru che de yu ma ya de long ro de be do cham jar la long yo re dong be ma li xie ba ne dang jiang hu ji tu ji zhong xi be ba re sung le ya de so the
last time His Holiness explained the first transformation, the transformation of the death into the state of Dharmakaya, and with the 8 signs that one experiences, and this process has been explained many times, and so it should be quite clear to one's mind. So now the next one is the transformation of the intermediate state into the state of Sambhogakaya, and in this connection you find the words which has been spoken to this great master by Tara herself, and so it goes up to a part where one actually visualizes a green syllable Tam. So His Holiness will first give the formal reading of the text, and then followed by explanations.
Sanje na pensi kone ju le mo su si den ja chimo me jo na we che je ko le lo ju zu ko da ma ja wa nya do to ni ji wen za ma shi wa ngan de sa ji na me ru ya da ho wa la ho wa na la the da ra ho wa so ndo cha da ra se le yu so bam bang jiang gu yi te li ji zhong de de shuo le be ma da ma ji we de wa ran sin we de dong ge yo zu na dang yi jiang gu yi te ji zhong wa ra sam Tella de longo de Ngawina Donga Jen Yogo, de Ri, go de Longo and Dava, Majin Juba Maya, Travico, Yevichan Longo, Mo, Maje Juba, Yana Yeshe, Rana Live Trobe, Jason Raji, the Mangiba, so many Jordan, Megobar and the Jika, down to Rinji, Jalu, to wake up, Tedara Sangoba, Yimba, Son Juli, Jongo, Sumba. Najiva to Shivam Chene, Taniba Badolon Chivalam Chetela, Badun Rolo, Badu Lu Chamu Yelo, Bado at the career of Chiame, Shango Yori, Badolongo, Teresani Badu Tudus, Abishan Dojori, Lomakashin Tabuja Mishil Dundodo. Though the Badu Tudu, the Chakachi Demamone Yori, those in the Judayori. Kasha Nibamone running Zergbet Tumbo. Yori Gandari Ibe, Padu Nudi Padu at the Canayume, Yahuji Shana, Tijana around Shiduan, Chay, Padu, the Moshin Rojana, Padu Jita Miwata, Chidat, Padu Gijun Tovaji Yunguri, Darin then the Jebusum and do, Timan, Shomuwaja.
So the as regards the second transformation of the intermediate state into Sambhogakaya, that there's a lot of things that one actually should study to know better, to know precisely, and how this intermediate state is being achieved, and it is subtle nature, and there we have this very well-known text, the Padutudo, and which you find actually about half of this is quite true, and there's also certain exaggeration you find in that text. But whatever it is, actually one should know precisely how this state is being achieved, and in what manner that one goes through this process of achieving this state. Because if one knows this, then it will make a difference. at the time that one actually goes through this state, and then one will not be so much affected by the fear and the fright which one faces, and also thus one will be able to transform, one will be able to make use of the virtues that one accumulates through the practice. So that is a big difference.
Badu longo goya tela badu ke sanglo tongwa mare gondi chogo gondi ma ba ne shi chidu ke sanglo tongwa mare te da tungwa re ma do gondi ye ge wu sanje ye sai longo gongwa re ma do ne jidu de gongwa mare te za badu sanglo ma do ma che da chugo ro ba chugo le de yo re chugo le de ne chugo singe be sanje ge tu yi shi ba yin za yi shi chugo de sanje khona ge joyu re suji ge to tugu mare yamba 마송도 유도 제 두고 말이 대마토바에서 시제게 가네 제토 마토바인데 추고 지고 전에 시제게 된 자치고 용면 다 주주 고지 당내네 주고 시제게 제 두고요 시제게 연제주요 대래에서 주주고 농주 주고 고라 당고 상배 편유지 당내 아니 도배마래 아마리 빨리배마 세트만데 쇼송 펜바드네지 동
So his Holiness says that so when we come to meditate on this second transformation of the intermediate state into Sambhogakaya, we don't have to think it like that one actually is going through the Pada process, and only that we are transforming it. We have to think of the actual state of Sambhogakaya which we are going to attain in the later stage. And also the same thing applies to the first transformation. When we transform the death into the Dhammakaya state, we did not have to think about the death process. It's only we have to think of a certain similarity between the actual death and that of the final transformation of one's death into the state of the Dhammakaya. And so now while remaining in the Dhammakaya state, it is not possible to benefit a greater number of sentient beings, because in being in that state, only the Buddhas themselves will be able to contact and see each other, and ordinary sentient beings will not have any direct contact with someone who is in that state. And so therefore at this particular state, one should first generate the motivation to take another form of a Buddha, through which one can benefit even more the sentient beings. So first you have to have this motivation to arise yourself in the former body of a Buddha.
Ndirawa Tombe ngale sajina mejuya da ho la te dan jamba tagu de ne usira be mata ubala che che wala tisun da omen jasu chimu seatere ali dambu padu longo lang che ma dong ko na padu jiwa len sa ge phama phe de chu daga na je padu roya ge shingam de khen le chu go da chu thun che ni ali saji de khen le sam tong saji sam tong ya de 미루에 사지 뭐 랑 도마니 증안이 여기래 다 오기 타지 미루에 사지 호딩이 이제 미루야다 사지 타지 미루야다 호와스 라테단 잠바스 잠부 사지가 방그즈로 미루야다 호와 라테단 잠바.
So out of that so while being in that emptiness, that by maintaining the understanding of the emptiness, that the first one arises in the form body, then one has to have the parents, and as well as the type of land, the type of field in which one is going to take a rebirth. So in a similar way, that while remaining in that state, in emptiness, you have to think of the ground, of the field, of the land in which that one is going to take a rebirth with form. And so thus you have to think of the ground, which is the ground made of lapis lazuli, and very smooth and like soft and smooth like the palm of a hand. And so you have to think of the great milk lake, and with many little sort of rivers in between, and sort of very pure water, sort of essential water, very pure water, and a lot of the water birds are in those lakes, which are also the very emanations of the deity herself. So then in that ground, then all of a sudden a green syllable palm appears, and since the letter pa is the very first name of the lotus, and so you have to put a circle on top, so that makes it a palm. So that also then makes it complete the unity of the method and wisdom. And that syllable, that green syllable tam, dissolves into emptiness, and arising out of that emptiness at petal lotus. And in the center of that, actually, the wisdom, one's mind of the great bliss and voidness arises in the form of a green syllable tam, and for that you should take the pride of being in the Zambokakaya state of the deity.
mi ngaras mi shi ge tung yo mare longje zo ko yang de jangsin da sa le ne jangsin pa ba ge ma do su ji u ni ran su yin ne je tu yo mare chamu yi ba song are de yin za dang yi de ma longje zo ko mo yi sa rang ge zu gu de dang yi ji bu shi da gong dang yi ji bu shi tel ji zhong.
So actually that syllable tam from its appearance, from its outer appearance, does not have any similarities from its outer form with that of the form of a Sambhogakaya, because Sambhogakaya form is being endowed with all the great physical qualities, such as like the 32 major signs, and as well as the 80 minor marks of a Buddha. So from that point of view, there's no similarity. But from the side of the subtle nature, these two are quite similar, and also the state of the intermediate state is also very subtle, and so therefore from this respect there is great similarity between these two, and so that state of Zambokaya of a Buddha then cannot be seen by ordinary sentient beings, and even those the great Arya Bodhisattvas then actually could communicate with one who is already in this state of Sambhogakaya form of the Buddha.
제단디라 양가시 도바 지고요 오바 롱고 담지 쳔바데 바두 롱고 치웨 랑시 인거리 데 인고야데 몰롱나라 오베 담지 쳔바 라미베 바두 디제 롱고 토버쇼 송도 와세 라마르 부시기주 라마 요새 니게데 찌데 소자 지게요 요르데 데데네 마레 몰롱의 요야데 패치 당시도 지금 송 인바요 뭐 몰롱 야고 요르데 야고 요르데 디주르게 오게 되지 인루마도 야 자네 자 초고요 인루마도 라마도 차 요새 니 송데 지선도랑 송데 대인산데도 같이고요 요 말에 야 바로 롱고라 우바담 지sem바 지기이나 텔레 오제 주도니 제야데 바두베 바두게 영화 바두 자원을 치다 자고시 되는 마임바 바도데 녜도 쇼네 녜지 내가 메르모 라소바 야 림바신도 패고 인자 녜지 내가게 더 내가 마요 어디 다천지 이머다 되네다 알리 마우셰 먹고 땅이 되라 롱고고이 삼방가 제송 다 바도다 지어시라 공무고리 라네 디기요리
So so it says that the sadhana says that from this syllable, from this green syllable tam, then from that emanate a lot of rays of light in all directions, and fulfilling two purposes. And finally, all this rays of light will be gathered back, and then that transforms then into a lotus utpala, lotus. Blue utpala lotus flower adorned with the syllable tam, and so there has been certain discussions about this utpala, the visualization of this utpala, and some have said that this visualization of the blue utpala flower should be actually the transformation of the part of the intermediate state in the Sambhaka form. So there's a lot of discussions about this, but according to the explanations given by the great master Dipamaka and his disciple, since their teaching, their explanation is based on the words which have been directly received from the Tara herself, and so that word should be more sort of authentic word teaching, and so therefore in that context, it is not explained as the transformation of the Padu into the Sambhaka state, and so therefore you have to understand that. It's said that only when somebody is conceived in the womb of the mother, then that child must get through 5 different stages of development, and it symbolizes the perfection of that stage, while one remains in the womb of the mother, going through these five stages of development.
The tuche zu shumu goje, gonde koraje, yanas danga niso, yana ishi yiranjen jatsuji, ishi yirana de juben jatsuji ranjen jido mangi bas, sajim bidruye sajina chodan tsodan chida malabaje, ishi yirana de juben jatsunge ranjen jido ngiba mebabe, namba natsu su chararu sun yodan, te yang nizele sonane jali oku drube kosa sajitine sanshos, tujang azu dache la miruya da sayadna tamatinde shosun yang jali oku drube kola kanga jasan la salton gore, ne hontu suri lyudan pe zo jasan rangung gore, tere kawa titang. Nöje la yang te gore, nöje la yang jasan yiranjen sitin san nöje dijung ke kawa nabutang, shira drube kawa nabutang, daga na yenge jisumen nöje drube ne danjun drube kawa nabutang tisila da jasan rajetin döne digiyo imda, o tukseda.
So it only says that sometimes that one has another alternative. Instead of visualizing those milk lakes and so forth, one can out of this emptiness, then one can arise in the form of a syllable palm, and from that then at the antepetal lotus, and this is the arising out of the wisdom, which is very much like the rainbow, which does not have any true entity. So this visualization is only to be applied according to the words of Tara herself, when somebody achieves the light body of the rainbow, that is of a certain very high stage of completion, then one has to always arise out of that state of the rainbow body. And also that sometimes when you sometimes in the connection in the visualizations connected with the generation stage, and as well as sometimes when you develop special type of wisdom, one has to apply this visualization of arising oneself in the rainbow body of a deity.
Yonso Juvalerani, Yonso Juvana, somebody choosing Jancho, on the Jungu, Choga, Medamano, Chidayana, Jesu, Dini, Chogaji, Chavade, Julia Sumba, Sabe, Chasena, Telecozo, Javan, Chogasunji, Jesu, Chiman, Niju, Sonche, Somani, Mojamaji, Jesu, Pado, Longo, Chetai, Nakaraja, de Laranda, Kamaji, So, Shuba, Sony, Majiji, Lamsuda, Tumba, Shelam. Son da Namatama so Juda, Jajonge, Konda, Mama Chevy, de Ako, the Jewish, Lamji, and Drew, Jarder, Jeva Maimba, and Yeju, Tomo Maimbe, Reniji, Tiji, Sunshe, Nukup, Jondo, Messive, Sunshe, and Jebaton, Chiji, Sintisuko, Vanilla, Siju, Chevape, Gule, Razu, Levajon, Jamajubar. Razu, Levajon, Jamajubar. Majo Barajavai, Chonibu Kangi, Bonicheja, Davetin Dorani, Zuma, Bamako, Yonso, Churbachi Jardo Jenny Rigise Deba Jeremy Chendru Lotara Cha Tetabu Pamiko Dea Tritan Double Limuda Chumburugo Double Pimu Navaja Mayba Kola Sharu Nantu Soja Mela the Major Kondon Dabu Tonra Gonga Dabu Kondon Mayba Uji Ranjiko Danshin Sewa Koyana Taja Jango Kimba Shantu Serva Barwe Me Pon Luji Sundu Darabo Good Diwali Kondon Church Colame Shadru Chajame Nakalan Jason Church Tomaze Jida Dua Long Le Jame Meluji Sundu Batabu Mame Seji no Jabatabu She So Som Bataro Koyana Tetabo Sewa Zamji Jam Shuba Tingazi Juli Nothing is in Jibun Dole Jawa in the Koyana Sheba Tomaja Tabriji Sumo Jana de Sinjur the Babanjur She So Sumatar Sa to Sami Shi Zinji the Deshi Soya Ela Juju Zaji Maro Chujim Chilin when it was Taiva Zimbe Pamon Suni to Sango so Petiting Del Jun Dru Tole so Pecher to Messiah Eva Good Rimal Irina Pendent Na Shi Sumachero Donga Gangi Lola Yang Sanjavana Kojia the Rua Yin Dirko Son Rinji to Jeva Gonji Megasale to Yinsu Sanja Luta Java Mai Tedaro Son La Lajilan de Sonda Chutun Jursu Shi do Yovane Melanwe de Dream Melanwe Jirin Jun Chimba Shiva Java Niba Niejo Jela Nelson Jinji Lavan Son de Tejo Hoto Shiba Hong Bo Shiba Barade Darani Ziba Siva to Collegina Giordana, Codogina, Kemo, Ungavanda Basun, Yoga, Mejumo, Amato, Mejebe, Hong, the Gugino, those of the Daye, Madaye, with Sambara, some Subane, Sonle, Toge, Tamil, Shivane, Zambon, Shibe, Barjut, Najebe, Toge, Daily was a true division, but Jen, Gushi, the Arajichuan, Nimela. Yeles, when of a change about the Lowish, any change about Nile Tamuni Ishi, Jin Xiao Jukui, and the Xiao Sumatara, Kutung, Yeme to Sonwe, Tojikarcho, Kui Chaba, Yela, Dene, Sonju, Yende, Dena, Sonju, Toji Kasha, the Kui Chab, Sanji, Chembe, Machebi, Chu Meiji, Chembe, Kasha, the Kui Chabi, Rangi, Nilo, So, Nagatomalic, Jindan Jatsun, Lamba, Shendo, Chukui, Liu, Jukuri, de Rangela Mala Soba. Sanje Tamji Chui so Rujibi Shiti Zundrum, Nijiki Kurve, Namaduji Nagashun de Jubur Moon, Nibadi Omen so Sanji Shin Rajan, Sanji Tuganija, Rangiva Lamadanis, Mashibi Zundrum, Nijiki Kovajan, the Tamji Jilling Sudo, Chasanji, Jubandu, Naka, Randa Sherigu, Jubam, Wayno. Teni Kanche, Rangimata, Nija. They are so Gomata Veggie, Sin, and Duati, Nevazande, Yekurdo, Yumamutra, Mamutriach, Naje, Shecha, Judan, So Jena, Sumodan Dala. Chaye, Choji, Chaje, Tena, Ondo, Jibabuma, Mathematician, the Jardi, Shivashim, the Watarakavaneda, Dushe, Rajibabumacabo, Sendo Jen, Sedasun, Natseda, Seda, one town, George, Jebe Bumba Sebo, Sudorna, Samusi Jibabuma. Sebo, 100 Mama, Motricha, Jina, Gigi, Bumba, Marbo, Jiden Sonje Manacho, Sonje Mamana, Jose, Truba, Junior Jibabumabo, Jiji, Tujubana, Motribe, Shedamba, Jiji Renado Bumba, Dudan Jumbe, Namana, Tunye Jose, Duba, Sunche, Charambe, Dawin Jubba, Conjo Son, Jajama, Garmo Shell, Carmo Lasso, Talabaji, Jiva, Bumba. Deux ans, je want to do Mamma, Chaber, Rajan, deux Jubuma, Modujuma, Puma Mase, Sumatar, Mase, Puma Puma, Tashin Zeba, Shin Shivas, Mase, Shendo Shiva, Mase, Tashi, Tangi, Jubuma, Metaramba, Makoto, Mamacho, Shimichin, Sun Deba, Sun Pumba, Trinity, Namajuze, Namo, Trinity, Yobagila, Pumba, Shivachimbo. Carmo, she deva Shivajiba Pumari, Holy Duma, Marmori, Pevajiba Pumaji, Soyo, Kumunji Daje, Shimatro, Genjiva, Novajiba Pumba, Tu Shishime, Sajama, Dava, Tarakarishi, Karishin, Shivatune, Seva Pumba, Zoba, Damelanga Seka, Zodamelanga Seka, Sema Carmo, 동의 세세 봉마 린네 세와 마세 린네 세와 봉마 틀에 용도 지연제 봉마가 난자마 가르모로 타주죠 봉마 나반남 세와라 미네 되네 지금 봉마도 시반에 리베도 아주 시베 야라 르만베 녀도 차세 녀지 마 가만도 르초나 차세게 시간들이 사무소 르만이지 체 나세 대다 들레 마미질레 예수도 란다 녀버리체 디베란라 티머섬 냐대야니도 도자가 도자 찾아와니 유자지지 수마다라 차세니지 뭐니 자가가지 도바 제비 자가가지 도바다 차세니지 뭐지도 집에 로당 야 차세니지 뭐리 로소 자가가지 도바니 호모 차세다리 도모 밤모 나 돌아다 도다라이 집어 건들이네 나 담제 도나 타제 어디에 소이 이제라를 언데 제반데 따라 제대 수제베 로장 당고 마데 사르zambe 도반 디전의 치변도 시순배 마데 사르네 종 고마 루산데베 제제엘라 대손의 중도반에 도메 제바 오나나모 아르다리야 라제제고 저고지 칠레 시소당 조도 모두 마데 사르시 자와시 시순배 네이지 데라지 좀 파마라니 장하지 칠제 메레 소모녀가 네 소녀마 도만 비시 순배 소모도만에 사지부지 용다 따라다 소모녀가만 용다 소모녀 소메된도 원진세 사지나 치자리 소모 장소 장외 년하고 되네 도송대 시지용 시소지 수대다 소미차 용究竟 산선 리젠베장 제바 소용다라다 도만이 지어도 신은 소모라틴 소모 자시랑 게 다시 버지오로 이시바 메딘도 메지 바다보다 홍시베 이시바 단지바 수만 아 팀자마 리바 메노나즈니 샤와 메노다 조니에 마리바다 보다 초나도 오물루 와리시 마리바다 보네발라 밤시 다시 보다 이시반 탐차 타제는 리바 오마 초 리바 주바나 드 참스제네 이메도 리디베이메 소소르 자르메 바다보다 호시바 이시바다 시발라 제제도 주리자마도 이보도 미레바삼 이번에 손례라 두고 서면 우제 시반에 오벨라 나자다니라 티모레 주로섬 시베데 라리아 두고 서면 우제 바면서 오벨라랑 고나지 와제 라지 소드 나다베 남바나 나나라소베 영에 원고르베 군바데 제말라소베 용에 온게베 자반 드시 추르 원고르베 좀다 최랑아 지도 시바용 지발라마가 요진진 온갈라나라 티마사만데리 리다 오바 멜란세바 베메리 임바도미 체도리 라리지지 더바 멤버 라마바 메디지도도 고르니 쳐바소 람제자와 신예데지 네도바 예노 자주지고 어지모 베메리지 용도 제정 라미지고 데레 베지네 루베리 레손제바 마베데 야도 루베리 소자고바 이나냐 장코인디시 가슴 쪄버면은비 차신장배 체르던 데만 나지 제번 저지 이번에는 무슨 저들이비 난줄라솜 야 다니루야라 지시야데 주부치야라 바탈리 제용도 니루야라 지리 니루야라 지시야데라 니베야라 할제야데 라할제야데 니루지야라들 내수 지원데바 도가 홍세 내수 이거 송거버데 니루지야라리 이시바 제정의 대야데 주배야라리 원고지데 제바데 주신지야라리 대야라 지부터 니루야라 지에스 베냐바데 그스기 니루야라 지송에서 공사데 데레
So here one speaks of the four branches of the practice, and the first branch is where one arises in the complete form of the deity. So that is the first branch, and the second branch then is with respect to the generation of the three syllables in one's body, and the third branch is the inviting of the wisdom beings and absorbing the wisdom beings into the body of the samaya, the body of the samaya, or the commitment body of the deity. And the fourth branch is inviting the empowering deities and receiving empowerment, and as well as the crowning one's head through the lord of the family. So these are the four branches of the practice.
당위 정고 되라 롱고 이 삼명가 제송도 여러 되게 다 로제 조베고 신년이 네방아데리 뒤준 대예자 장신 파바마도 수지우고 ninje 두고 말이 니들 파바게 이제 두고 말이 니들 니랑 라주마게 이제 두고 말이 근데 인자 수지고 연제주매와 이들 공부 수지고 동호선제 두고요 말이 근데 인자다 로제 조베고 라네나니 수지고다 니랑 이제 마토바 인자 신제 마다베 신제 냐타 우투 도메가 나로드슬레베 무엇이시다 펜토구면도 대이나 신제 참말로기 이제 토야게 주고 라베 주고 종고도 삼에 상로트도参加 펜바도 되리
So at this particular moment that one remains in this in the form of this green syllable tongue, and at the same time that taking the pride of being in the Zamboka state of the Buddha, and which has 5 features, and one of them is that while remaining in this state, only the Arya Bodhisattvas then could communicate with one in this state, and not even the ordinary sentient beings cannot have any type of contact, and know the superior ones of the Sarvaka part, and even the Arhats then cannot have any direct contact or communication with the one who is in this state of the Sambhogakaya. And so therefore, in order to benefit those who are in the impure state and who are under great sufferings, to take a form which will be visible to every sentient beings. So in this way that one has to awaken the proper motivation to take a gross form of an emanation body of a Buddha in order to benefit all sentient beings.
Rabbi Zhugu Zungu some Pembadi Dongni, Tangi de Leozechu. Tangi de Leozechu, Tuniche, Tuni with the Carresana, Randun Shendunise. Shendu Carres and Sija Tamjig, Dirija Pameco. Randu Carres and Sanja Tamjil Chubambu, Cello Sudu, Tangi Latim. What did it? Randu Cello do it, Meba, Gendu Dirija, Meba Sneeze.
So after generation of this particular the motivation to take a gross form of the emanation body of a Buddha, then again a lot of rays of light emanate from this green syllable tongue, and this fulfill 2 purposes, and one is the purpose for oneself, and others the fulfilling the purpose of others, and the first one being that one through the rays of light one makes the offerings to all Buddhas of the 10 directions, and then gathering all the blessings of those Buddhas into oneself. That is the fulfilling the purpose of oneself, and to fulfill the purpose of others is that through those rays of light all the sentient beings of the 6 realms of life are being sort of touched by those rays of light and completely purified. All the negative imprints and all the black karmas and all the unwholesome actions are completely purified, and bringing those sentient beings to the state of Tara, placing them all to the state of Tara. So in such a way that you fulfill the 2 purposes.
That's so do there was a Patrucian Dirija was a two dugure. Sanjila Choba Pimen Jello Danyani two dugure. Patru Chenche two dugoyari. There is a so do you do Tami the Yons Juni, Ubala Damji Tembashi to Jerujo. Ubala Metoki Tewagina, the Yigatam Yukila Jerusalem Samaji. So I go to show a Rani Zemas, that Ubala did Tami Ida. The Kangua work Kombuji, the Churuba, the Yonsu Ranji Zundru Moko, the Jerusalem Samaji. So after those purposes are fulfilled, one has to collect back all of those different rays of light which one has emanated out into the 10 directions, and all this will be collected back into the syllable tongue, and then this instantly transforms into Utpala flower adorned in the center with the syllable tongue, and then that all of a sudden transforms into the complete body of the deity. Rani Jizuma de Kanechilesana, Kundo Magajin Dajin Shendo Jangbas, marge se Rinpoche Rinpoche seala yu nima chen marge re yore se ji yore kandar imbe jangu ji re Rinpoche marge singe di ndo na je kondo marge na je jangu
one's body at this time is the color. It has the color of the jewel called markid, and it is said that the turquoise, when one keeps it very long for a long time, then it has the color of this jewel called markid. So anyway, that one has this green, sort of the green color of the body.
Sanje Jugu Yilu Valeris Gundo Changu, Sheji, Chani, Rimuchi, Jin, Darjin Nasa, Chaye, Chani Yalu, Ubalan Zindevo, Chani Ubala, the Negate, Kachiding. All that the Negiku Yunsu to the Chusun.
So then after arising into this complete body of the deity with one face and two arms, and wearing all of these different jewel ornaments, and holding two utpala flowers, and which open at the height of one's ear, and adorned with all the major and the minor marks of a Buddha. And so at this point that one should take the pride of being in the emanation body of a Buddha, and a body which is visible to all sentient beings to benefit all of their different wishes and so forth.
Tandi choga sunje seyadere, jechote. Jiringe Hajelo de Choga Sunje, Geji Drunje, Mojang Aje, Doji Jis, Jelu Jiore. Geji Drunjin Golat, Choga Samala Geji Siaji Jachindoa, Choga Sunje Sia de Ali Dobo, Sabenji, Saben Udushin Chatsenji, Dia Halji Chigri. Since Domo Damiliji, Dam de Udushin, Ubala Damji Sembalaji, Dia Jizun Romanji and Choga Sunje.
So this is called the sort of the triple sort of generation of the deity. It went through three processes, namely the first that one is in the form of a syllable, and then it was transformed. In the second process, it was transformed into the instrument, which is the utpala flower adorned with the syllable, and in the third process, it was completely generated. It had sort of completely arisen in the complete form or the body of the deity. So therefore it is the triple sort of generation. And then there is sometimes another instant generation, we call instant generation. That is the one that you have made at the very beginning of the sadhana, one arising instantly in the form of the deity.
Shi Zabu She Nani, Nido Kabu Mare, Chindo Kabuya Mare, Shirango Gredi. Mojang Aje, Dimjo Naji, Naju Manale, Jebushe and Mojang Aje, Konaji Yori.
So here it is said there's one way of generation, there's one way of generating oneself through the five manifest enlightenments. And although it is not directly explained or is written here in the sadhana, but it is very much similar to arising oneself through this five manifest enlightenment, which you find in the long sadhana of Chakrasambhara. So the arising oneself within the context of the five manifest enlightenment then is with respect to the five wisdoms of the Buddha.
Sadabu, Dodu, Sedu, Todo, Radu, Katinebe, Pimuk number Chani, Gunromari.
So anyway, that whatever tradition or the process of generation that one follows, anyway, that one is arisen in the complete form of the deity, and is something that is lifeless, such as like a body which is made of from ordinary substances, like from earth or from the rock, or which does not have any movement, which does not have any life, and one shouldn't sort of visualize in such a form. Nor the body of the deity which is generated now is like a flat body which you find on a painting or in a tanga. So actually the type of body that one arises then has the 7 features of the god and goddesses being in union, and it is a body which is the union of the pure illusory body of the Buddha, and as well as the pure clear light mind of the deity. So these two are completely united. It is a type of illusory body with the 12 great qualities. It is a body which does not have these ordinary substances like the flesh and the bone and the skin and the veins and the joints like that. Nor it is an empty body, like a hollow body. So it is a type of illusory body of a Buddha, which is with many different qualities, such as like the 12 great qualities. It is a type of body which is made from the light of a flame, sort of very radiant and very living sort of form.
Baba Jurus Sanje Tenlu de Koya Sanje Koyimba, Tuya Same Desen Ishi Desen Yeji Yode, Soya La Tuju Gune Sun Chube, Kanla Kansan Sumbe, Kanla Kansan and Roll Sung Begage, Chu Dun Jemba Yimba, Chile, Ko Sun Tu Yune Chile, but someone Sanje came, what did you go?
So it is said, according to the king of the sutra, sutra of the meditative stabilization, it is said that one has to visualize of a deity, like oneself arising in the form of a deity, or like the one visualizing a deity in front of oneself, the generation in front. Anyway, that one has to think of the body of a Buddha with all of those different qualities, the major qualities of a body of a Buddha, and even with respect to the mind with 21 great qualities of a Buddha, and with regard to the speech, also with 64 qualities of a speech of a Buddha. At the same time that the speech being sort of in action in benefit of sentient beings, sort of by giving teachings in an uninterrupted sort of a manner to benefit the sentient beings. In such a way, in such a level, you have to think of the body, speech, mind of the Buddha, of the deity in which one arises.
Same ishi disen nichi se tugu yone de nishusa jigi tsega yawar. Disen chedin yasa jigi. Disen dambo de la jangshu sudun ri, sunju sudun yawar.
So it doesn't mean that the great qualities of the mind of a Buddha is then could be given as 21 great factors, and it means that there are many groups, and in the first group you can say there are 37 factors. So these are the 37 elements or the factors leading one to the enlightenment. In the second group, we find the 4 immeasurable factors. In the third group, we find the 8 perfections. So in the fourth group, we find the 9 types of equipoise of the meditation. And then, so there are many more the qualities of the mind of the Buddha, and if one then comes to hear these details and to study about these, to know that all of this in detail, then could serve as a special circumstance to generate even stronger kind of devotion and faith in the Buddha. But then there's no one who takes interest either in explaining or in listening, and or either there's no time to listen or no time to explain. So with respect to Buddha's speech, it has 64 qualities. So with respect to Buddha's body, it has 32 major signs and 80 minor ones. So altogether, Buddha has 127 the physical qualities. So if one is to collect together all the different activities of the Buddha, then one can collect them into 27 the major activities of a Buddha. So when you arise yourself in the form of the deity, then you have to think of all of those great qualities of a Buddha, like the physical quality and the quality of the speech, such as the 64 qualities of the speech, and then the 27 activities of Buddha in order to benefit sentient beings. It is not a deity which does not benefit any sentient beings.
So that
was the rough way to generate oneself in the form of the deity, and there's not so much time to go into more details. And the fact is that there's not much time to explain, also not much time to listen. That means both the teacher and the disciples are busy. So now we have come to the second branch, which is the close practice. That is with respect to the 3 syllables. One has to visualize 3 syllables in one's body, and the first syllable then has reference to the Buddha, the Vairochana, and the second one has the reference to the Buddha Amitabha, and third one has the Buddha Akshobhya. So we speak of the five different Buddha families, and sometimes we even speak of the 100 Buddha families, which could be gathered into 5 branches or 5 families, and that can also be reduced into 3 Buddha families, and that can also be reduced into one single Buddha family.
Ta yishiba chen changpa siya dhruve yanla te yishiba chen changpa si. Yishiba chen changlo te la chugu nene zugu nambe chen changpa si. Rangzhen chu jiku le zu jiku namba chen changyong du be ta rinpo din chen changwa ma re. Susu chi taba ne chen changyong ba naka tenme la chen duwa nangzhen sanje ke yishi ke machab sa meba yin za sanje ke yishi tu yishi ke kasha la kuyi chabdi wari. Sanje ke tu ki chabdi yo na kuyi chabdi wari. Kuyi na nga zu jeju yo guwa ma re. Kodan tu nimbo de ngo jik re.
So after that, the third branch, and which is done, which is in connection with the invitation, inviting of the wisdom beings, and so for that there are 2 possible ways. The first one is to invite from the sphere of the Dhammakaya, then in the form of in the bodies with form, with visible forms. So for that, the distance does not make any difference, because that wherever Buddha's mind pervades, whatever Buddha's mind pervades, it is being pervaded by Buddha's body. Since Buddha's mind and the body are completely unified in one single nature, and so therefore it doesn't have to be visible for the ordinary eye, and in such a way that Buddha's body and mind are united and unified. So therefore one has to invite from the realm of the Dhammakaya in the different forms with visible form.
Ta chedong nirwa chugu nene zugu nambe chen changpa, longu nene chugu nambe chen changpa, karju ji nene chen changpa yore. Nila karju nene chen changpa mugo re. Mi choba ma re. Ngara su tame be sanglu tala jizan runga yusa puta la le re sansan ji yore yang riputa la. San puta la ne cho ne tang yi jogu le chung shi si na karju nene chen changpa tanda re. Te chogu yore. Yina jizun ruma sanje yinza sanje yusa luma dire siya ke yoma chu tamje le chabni yore. Te mugu wa chen digiri. Chugu nene chen changya de be ta chen zhaya de chen changkhen de weze ke chen changwa yinza weze de tuge tamyi le weze chuyo si che wari. Tuga jiwun ruma tuga hong yuwa dagi ta tam de kawa yore si na. Tuge tam de la pesha keme pesha mangwa dhruchi na la tamyi hongi tsemba si yore. Tamyi hongi tsemba si. Yige tam che, tam ge lekur na la hong chu she yore. Til na la. Nizen sun she na la hong tam ge tsemba che yore. Hong yi di jiwo nreba tuga hong che. Hong yi ge til na lo jisuri me thumma mewe sabi tam ti chu yore. Cheda nizen na she che na yaga yore. Tuga tamyi di.
So then there's another way to invite the emanation, the manifested bodies of Buddha from the realm of the Sambhogakaya form, from the realm of the Sambhogakaya bodies of the Buddha, or that one can invite from any possible places, and but for the ordinary mind, that sometimes that we recite the verses of invitation, such as like to invite the deity Tara from the Buddha field Potala, and a special verse for that, for inviting that. But it doesn't mean that the Tara could be invited only from that Buddha field. Since Tara is a Buddha, so Buddhas are everywhere. It's not just sort of restricted to one particular abode or a place to invite. And for the actual invitation, one has to send rays of light from the green syllable Tom in one's heart. And for that visualization, there are 2 possible ways. The first one is one can visualize the syllable Tom in the heart center, in the circle of that, in the tigla of that, one can visualize the blue syllable home. And then sending out rays of light from that, one can invite the wisdom beings. But according to the close instruction of the Tara, of the deity herself, it says that the best thing is one should visualize the syllable tam, the green syllable tam, in the circle of the blue syllable home, and then sending out rays of light from that to invoke the wisdom beings. So therefore one can invoke from any possible realms, such as like from the special Buddha fields for those Buddhas who remain in the Sambhogakaya form, such as like the Akanishta special Buddha field, and one can invite from those realms of Buddha. One can invite the Buddhas in the manifest body of a Buddha, and thus one can invite from the 10 directions a countless sort of space full of deities in the manifest body of Buddha. That is the way to invite.
Lama laos ja jizuma chen chang de na sanji chen chang ne pamba yo ma re da na je longu shin khang ne chen chang ne sanji re re ge thoga ne be rang lama de ni sum wi jizum do ma ni ju ta ji ge ko ro chen chang go re.
So anyway, that when you invite the forms, then one should never sort of separate those invited wisdom beings, something separate from one's guru. So if one does that, then it will not be helpful. It will not help. Or that when one invites the wisdom beings from the realm of the Sambhogakaya, that one should invite from the heart of each of those Buddha who are in the form of the Sambhogakaya. Then one should invite the 21 Taras from the heart of each of those Buddha. One should invite at this time.
That Dumani Staji Gorgo is a soul that sent in Naji Druman Koranche. Korgo Dumani Staji, Dave, doing it on the Yegur do soon the one, Jadan Yegur Korachan in the Rio. Yegur Chan in Yoma Bamu, Shiva Chimbo, Sejin Doje, Namar Yamo, Sado, Sen Kaka Kudo Kaka Yori. Tagana Yukudo Susio Naji, Zavatile Kaka Yori, Leso Kaka Druji Yori, Dumani Staji Gunile, Leso Nimero Yusaji Yori. Jadan Dumani Yusaji with it, so Duman Nanju Rebati, the Chilean Zedongi Chegi, Kuya Nanju Ritan, a Chavi Pumba. Korji Dumani Yusaji, the Chayu Ubalayo, Yabana Ubalayo Omari, Pumba Ritam Yori. Pumba Tige Tamo, Pumba de Kundo and Dere, Dumakamu Pumakabo, Sebo Puma Sebo, Mambo.
So anyway, that when you invite the 21 Taras, then you find the main aspect of the Tara is in the center, which is in the green color and with the green body, with the green body, and then surrounded from the front, the clockwise, the 20 Taras, and starting in the front the Great Peaceful One, and so forth. So each aspect has a different name, and also the different color, and holding different colored vases, and the color of the body also correspond to the color of the vase which they hold in the hand, and also they hold Utpala flowers in the hand.
Sanje Omeni Jan Jamba in the Sanje Longjo Zubu Sanje Togani Duman Yuzaji Chazan Chazan Chandra Naka Kong Chandra Chugu in the general, they don't chugu myself some ever is the banana Saji, somewhere not about Nagani Chababa, Sajuna Lamba Tomato. What in this Choju, Shinkan Rajam, the Jetan, Chason. So, Gangalo G, the GT, and Sul no lady, no one should such a thought that you have Chason G the Chugo, Yamamu Shasa Mari.
So when you invite the from the Akanishtam Buddha field, then you have to invite from the heart of each of those Buddhas, the 21 Taras from the heart of each of those Buddhas, invite, so that's sort of then the feeling hold the space of those which are invited. And then when you invite from the realm of the Dharmakaya, then invite from every possible directions, from the space, from the earth, and from the space between. And so that's inviting from the 10 directions. So all space full of those wisdom beings are invoked. But finally, all of those invited wisdom beings absorbed into one another, and finally remaining only one complete circle of the 21 Taras, because we do not have a place for them to remain in the space. So that's only remaining one complete circle above in space.
Tandela Shitaru Chanani Jizuduma Kashi Yam Trosuri. In a Cholo Guduma Nichi, the La Chayan Puma, the Shiji Chani Shajigre, Sandoton Digri. Nima Bebe Loga Duma de la Damira Shecha Mambo, Chasan decision the Miral Mamuyo, and the Chulugu Duma, the Harachi. Tina de Tagadu. Oh, Tigariori. Then you didn't delay Jizuma, Kangala Pema than the wedding told the sugar. Duma Pema the Nimed told you, Kamayor.
So it is said that some aspect of the Tara are with slight wrathful expressions, and so here this tradition is the tradition which follows the tradition of Atisha. So all are sort of in peaceful forms. But there is another tradition of the great Master Nimabeva, that means that one who has completely concealed the sun. So in his tradition there were many differences of the instruments being held by the 21 different Taras. But here it's sort of the tradition of the Atisha, and so therefore most of them are then sitting on double seats of the lotus and the moon disk. And only 5 have the different seat, such as the lotus and the sun disk.
Toge Dang Ili was a true Jenjang. Jenjang and Region of Halaju, Chasang Ju Nistachi. And Jenja Zosona, Jizon Pamadru, Mother Choju to Sun Juva, Java says, going away charges, Chase. Lu Dujan Yambi Chase. And the Gana method to be Mammy Shazun, Satima, Chevapu, Divasha. Other than Mazoba, the Hela Duma Puri. Yala Dumbe Sosa. Yala Dumbo Zosona, Dumadongore. Chache Neji to. So,
what happens is that when you have invited those wisdom beings, they are not sort of immediately absorbed. So before they are being absorbed, you have to offer the 7 limb, and starting with prostrations, and in that way you have to multiply your own body into countless forms, then offering prostrations to the invited wisdom beings, and then followed by the offering of the different offerings, and then the compassion and so forth. So you have to offer the 7 limbs, and then after that you have to recite the praise of the 21 praise to Tara.
And the Romanishi, Chasenishi, the Omajism, Chasrum, Baum, and the Kishilo, and I that pronounced Tadan Shingo Medro, Jingi Shingo, Kangal Shingo Mare, Tendo Shana Yago, to journey in the Batita, Mara's brother in the Jasame, Tabaka Dogur, Mijaka Dogur, Amagamuga Dogur, Pemens with some in the Shingle Juma.
Then His Holiness says that it is very helpful if one can recite the 21 prayers to Tara. If it is possible to learn it by heart, is very useful, because in Tibet that everybody knows how to recite this by heart. Not only the monks but also the lay people and even the mothers and the grandmothers, and everybody would recite this special prayer of Tara just by heart. So His Holiness says that he will explain just one shloka, just 4 lines from these 21 prayers to Tara. So in the first 4 lines, it contains the several different names of Tara, such as like the Great Liberator Tara, and the one who is very fast, very swift, very quick, and one who is very brave. And it's only said that actually Tara has about 100 different names.
And
the expression of the eye of Tara is slightly sort of wrathful, and it is it has the quite similar to the light of the lightning, so slightly wrathful expression. So then in the 3rd line, then it says the Lord of the three realms of life, and so the Lord of the 3 realms is Avalokiteshvara. And then when Avalokiteshvara was residing in the Buddha field of Potala, then the great countless forms of his emanation then have benefited the sentient beings. And then at one time that he thought he might have already completed liberating all sentient beings to the state of Buddha, but when he checked, that he found that there was still a greater number of sentient beings who remained to be liberated, and as a matter of fact that afflictive emotions have become even stronger, such like the desire, attachment, ignorance, and so forth.
And
then what happened is actually the samsara was filled with sentient beings, and without having attained liberation. So this made him sort of feel very sad, and he started sort of then crying. And what happened is the tears which fell from his eye. So in that a flower appeared. And the so-called the flower which is born from the water appeared from those tears.
주지 셰지 그사 저월린 좀 메도디 셰가 치네 그사 카드 치 메도게 배운 너무 파장 그사 카 저월레 되나 지선 좀 좋은 거래.
So when this from the water the flower which is born from the water then opened up and all the petals sort of spread, then out of that came Tara.
안 지선 좀 게제르지도 저런 게 신지 맞았어. 저런 게 신지게 된 잡에 로메지 쇼송네. 아니 제르지게 틀에 주메티 지선 주마래. 말아서 주말을 소화다근 제르지게 제를 주벌이 채요래.
And then so when she was born out of that flower, then she sort of consoled Avalokiteshvara not to feel sad about this for not having been able to help sentient beings. She said she will give full support, full assistance in helping him in the liberation of sentient beings from their state of suffering.
다 안기니버디 지선 좀 까부치요래. 자선 차서 되게 너군도 강화전지 비셔마셔야지 군도국군 되버려. 가부 용야 되게 공을 칠레 쪼어디 디바다 내다 더다 바시셔야지.
And then in the second one, in the second number, is another aspect of the deity with white body, and this specializes in for the sentient beings in eradicating the negative imprints, and especially the illness and any type of obstacles. So His Holiness will not go into further details because there are many more. Altogether there are 21 aspects of Tara. Nor that he cannot tell by heart.
Re de Sudan Suino, till Randa Niba Richene, Randa Tinson, some Miba Chivina, and then Druma Dumba could do Cello Shitan Juguyor. Pena Dero, Casacho, Lenny Joma, Sudu, Dunga Chita Shuke, Jizu Zog, Kundu to Yoke, Nyama Pamule, Randa Niba Ranlatim, Chinchilo. Tagana took the Okunto Kaja, Kamaturo, Red Chiver and Bama Sudi, Sug, Kuno Kaba till Randache, Ranlatim. Tana yet the next Sebuchio, the Leche, the name of Sebuchio, the name of Kangalu, Jelu Tata, Ange Gubajide, Dero, Takangu. What did they chat around the team with me by Jane, Dominier do Tsai Chin Dona, Sung Dona, Duna, Kazan Don Toto Dona Yabuyori.
So, as a matter of fact, that when you recite this, the praise, 21 praise to Tara, that each time that when you come to mention the name of one particular aspect of a Tara, you should think the second form of that aspect appears and absorbs into your body. And for example, when you come to recite the first one, the second form then comes forward and will be absorbed into your body. And then after that, the one next to that, which is with white body, and the next to that is with yellow body, and next to that is yellow body, and in this way that each time that when you come to the recite these corresponding names and the verses, you have to take the second forms which will absorb into your body, and through that you receive special blessings from this deity.
Taken Rio, Democora Rally Charge. Ya Lola shaken to get Lucy Neo, Maresia Yaman. Oma Chaja Dumatari Pamo, to the range Jivaconse, to return the Malu Ravtir. So I get Jella Rodu Sadan, Omatari to so Hasia, Yigisan. This I have to over the Chaja. Then the Druman is over to Lori. Then there is a shake report of a tongue in the web. Jagala Junior Sugi, Trabata so Chimbure, Ribat Sabuyori, Mr. Dumont Buddhi Saros, Pesha, and Pesha de Le, Yatso is so. Much other Dumotar Bamu Tura Toritonam, so you get and the Shulgaji with the Sane, so Gitila, so things like the Rumbuchi has the Basan, Shashak, Tinson, South Junior, Yamamiu, that's looking in a Hamogo. And this seven height over the Chasset Romaniji Mare. Romaniji is a Besha, the Sarucha, Romato, 700 over Sarucha Mare. Then the Guma, that got to the San Digroti. 700.
So,
Tene do dine ka tonju ka me kono go ji sa yiji special son to inenda.
So the so in this way that with this visualization of absorbing into one's body the second forms which come forth from the visualized beings, then one can recite either 2 times or 3 times or 7 times. So anyway, that when you come to the end, then you have already recited 1 time, and then it is said that at the end of the text, thus that you offer the praise with the root mantra. So that is an expression that you find at the end of this special prayer of 21 Taras, and then there's another sort of version which says that this line, this special reference, this is special sort of reference to another shloka which is not to be found in that, which is just Rinpoche had recited with 4 lines, and the people say that is the way to offer praise and compliment to Tara with the root mantra. And so that is why that many in these days there has been sometimes cases that the people making a request to the Sangha to recite 100,000 times of the 21 praise to Tara based on the offering of the praise of the root mantra. So then they have done the short one with only 4 lines. In that case they can finish 1 hour the recitation of 100,000 times. So it is sort of very much simplified. And His Holiness cannot say that this is done correctly, one does like that.
Seven hadi Drama Corona the Yorwa, Chata Tari Jibachimosiore, Dutaranjiba, Karichi Siore, Sirisin Yore. Taina to Shemuguya, Turkani Karishi Jewish. Tali, Domata Gazetum, Ronda Chebemi, but Jetunice, Matune, Joyomar, Chase, Devach and Dosha Dior, Chelo Chichuni Woody.
And if one can visualize the absorption of those second forms from the visualized being, it will be better. But even if that one is not able to do that, one can nevertheless recite this 21 praise to Tara with full devotion.
Dombe ndire tabu ko ma lo san de be jense ki sung dire te to ne be so tab to ne abu yo ta pyoge ma sha ko ma cha na so shita shita ra da men ta de ne jire te cha na gar chen me de pyo gore so ga je to ngi ne to me de ji pyo.
And then after this particular visualization, then there's a special prayer written by one of the first Tafu Rinpoche, and its name is Matisora, and a special prayer by Tafu Matisora, and one can recite that, and this is about 7 pages, 7 smaller pages in Tibetan, and after reciting that prayer, then one can offer Mandala.
Mende sombo duma ta sombo nyama ma pyo song nya jizung sung le jong yo re ten za nyama ma te sandena le yo re geso hamu je ti yo ma re.
So then the Tara herself has taught the offering of the mandala. This could be done just the mandala with 7 hips or with 25 hips. So these 25 hips you find here in the sadhana, the long sadhana of Tara Cittamani, in which the 8 goddesses are missing. And also such is like the little the mountain which is made of jewels. So these 4 are also missing from this mandala with 25 hips.
Rinpoche do chol number ni yomare.
And also you find the jewel umbrella, and as well as the great banner. So these two are also missing from this mandala.
And someone nyesong liu re. Nyesong le chicharu kuyu se somu chi zishaware.
And so when you actually count the hips and this mandala, there are only 23 hips, and then to that you have to add two more. This one is the fence around. And then in addition to that, the golden ground. The golden ground is also added to that. So that makes it then 25 hips of the mandala. And also the great master Rinpoche, that when he went into that long practice at Oka and offering countless mandalas, he did it based on these 25 hips of mandala. And the system of putting these 8 goddesses in the mandala was made. This edition was made by a great Sakya master, Dongye Chuja Paba, and he took it out from a special the puja special rite of the Buddha Kunri. So he took from that sadhana and then put it in the offering of the mandala. This another choice is to offer the very simple form of mandala, which has only 7 hips.
And the
way to do this, to offer with 7 hips, is the usual the sholoka, the line that everybody know by heart, the Sajipiji Shuishi Metoda, and with that one can offer the simple form of mandala with only 7 hips. And in that the golden ground will not be counted as one separate heap.
And
then so in the seven heap, that the Mount Meru as one heap, and then 4 continents, the 5, and then the sun and the moon, the 7, the 6. So this lines that we recite to offer the mandala with 7 hips was said to have been composed by Bodhisattva Tatungu, that when he received the teachings from his master Bodhisattva Chupa.
Sanji chu gi nu chen kunjo song al song di yo si chabne ga tatu nga yin so ya ge dare ta chabjin si de ma gu zi chi go ri di chon ji bo su le nge che gu che she mo gu sia di o yo ge de cha ja ri she chabjin ze be sen zo ni si de sen la ge zu gu sen la de na la e ka ru chi chu ne bu gu chen si de ko dong e ka bo ko dong je ji yong rang ge ji some shu then on the zikabo women jontabu po lujin hong diri tam je jangni lu shi gon ya da ba da bu chu su sam me ba che.
So after offering the mandala and whatever way that one wishes, either the 21 hips or the 7 hips, whatever, after that one has to make the request for the purification, for the blessing. And at that point you should concentrate on the left hand, the gesture which symbolizes the 3 jewels, and so which is not very much sort of raised into the space but slightly bent towards oneself, and from the tip of the 3rd finger then white rays of light come forth, and with sort of empty inside, and through the empty inside then flows a lot of rays of light and nectar to one's body, and one's body is completely filled, and all the impurities are cleansed through that.
That is the major dirija mi ba ya ta ju jin ru yo de. De sa ne khor ji du ni shi za ji bu de ya zu mo le tim.
And after this purification, then the 20 taras around the central figure then gradually dissolve into the central figure.
That zomo de rang la ma tim bo that yi shi ba tan si ba ting bo ba zomo ya rang la tim ni se me wo jon za hu ba ho za su de zomo de rang to la ra me to la mi zi bo hu su de ma tim ba mu su de yi me to ji ho su de be mi ni ba me ba ji shen to de me ba tem ba ju be mi ba ji ju gu shu ji ni si ya dan li fong wa.
So after that, even the figure also will be dissolved into one's body, and with the recitation of this 4-syllable mantra, Jang Pong Ho, and when you recite Za, then this will descend. This central figure will descend into your body, and when you say the syllable Hum, then it enters into your body, and when you recite Po, and then it is sort of being united with oneself, and when it's recite Ho, then it's completely united with oneself in a way that is not to be separated from each other. In an inseparable way, it's united. So the Rinpoche had spoken before the 4 branches of the practice, and the first 3 are complete in the way that we have arisen ourselves in the form of the deity, and after that in the 2nd branch that we have placed those 3 syllables, and after that in the 3rd branch that we have invoked the wisdom beings and absorbing them into one's body. So now in the 4th branch we have to invite the empowering deities and then get our heads being crowned by the Lord with family. So after these, again one has to send out rays of light from the syllable and heart, and inviting the empowering deities of the Buddha Amitabha family. And so so here with respect to the aspect of Tara which belongs to Anuttara Yoga Tantra, then it cannot belong to the lotus family of the Buddha, But when the aspect belongs to the Kriya Tantra, then it belongs to the lotus family of the Buddha.
That chöpa figure, ola chen ran nakala. Pensa kola sabari ora agam badi bibe duwa unne. Shada badi zama soas chuni nyeche rumuda cheba pyu.
And after inviting the empowering deities, then one has to make the usual sets of offerings with 2 waters and so forth.
Pensa kola sede ngare. Kola ne ongi hare.
And
kola ri imare.
And on Pensacola, Pensa means the 5, and then the Kula is the family, refers to the family.
Ri ma koda jebala puje. Ta chöpa pyu san dishin shiva san dangoma ongo du su swada onguro nas shore.
And then after the usual offerings, then one makes the request for the empowerment, for the blessing.
Then ongo la de na jibe zo yaringa na rinju ba me to ju ba mi je ba je ri nga bo dige zo nga gi ongo go ma je yung ji ta yung nga ro go ji yung ji chen ma da mama ke da 그 가모다 드마시리 이게 나니 마마게데 쪼고 용래 주고래 린조고 용래 주고래 다 강들면 드셔야 제고면도 다 알리 장고 주루야 유산나 고셔 숨고 다 용하게 bomba dizi 강 강하게네 랑지 좀 하세요 지오는 와 출루네 디지 출루는 온고 거래 온고야 돼 내려 제가 담은 디시를 타이션 되다 오마사도가 아비가선 시리아 아모사디 코노스 오마라스고 숭구숭구라 베 오마라 강갈로게 베 추데냐들라 하루 부르제네 랑고 지오는 추루고 추도 온고 메바제 온고 고고 저마다 추 라마야 르네 오바메지 우제메 메바제.
So here at the time of the actual empowerment, you should think that the 5 lords of the family, such as like the Varuchana and Akshobhya, Ranasambhava, Amitabha and Amagasiddhi, so they sort of then remain sort of in concentration on act of giving of empowerment, and the actual empowerment is being offered by the consorts, the goddesses, such as like the Lochana, and then the Mamaki, and Pandara and Tara. So then they hold in their hands the white vases filled with nectar, and then offering the actual empowerment to oneself by reciting the verses which says that just at the time of the birth of the Buddhas, then the special type of water is being offered. So likewise that we are offering this water empowerment to you. So in that way that they start to offer this empowerment, and in which that one's body is completely filled with the nectar, and all the impurities are completely cleansed, and that one is adorned with Buddha Amitabha.
랑게 라마 인자 라마 소데 어바메 인자 신년대 수급에 내 돈베 치도 어바메 내어메와 랑게 지우르다 그 수도 베 존네 신년대 수에 내 돈베 인송.
So actually the reason that why one's head has been crowned by Buddha Amitabha is not to show that this particular aspect of Tara belongs to the lotus family, but rather the fact that when Tara was still in the training as a bodhisattva, then the Buddha Amitabha was as her spiritual sort of a guide. So from the point of view of the practice of a guru devotion, then that the body of the head of the deity Tara is crowned by Buddha Amitabha. It is only from that point of view, not from the distinction of the family.
Tia de la Yanga Shake, Ridal Timba Soya Yor Chogu, in a zoo round the thing. Babu Bogatanjan and Rangi, Niga, Mishiva the Timba Mivaja, and Zoring Tobaji, Meja Yisungu.
So, after the empowerment has been received, then those empowering deities have to be absorbed into one's body, and some have said that this should be dissolved into the body of the Lord of the family on the crown, but actually, and more correct, then one should absorb it through all the part of the body, and then finally absorbing it into the indomitable point in the heart center, because thus then and through these one leaves special imprint for later the development of the completion stage.
That the Enshake Rucheng Ela Zo. That Gender Pusuba Yala Segure, that Gender Pusuba, Chutu David Nanjula Sun Siadi Tandila Tava Jurji Mari, Chutun Jujuri. Toma Jitenji Yunen Zeba than Chutumba Chutu Cheva. Nanto Yandaban Juba than Chutumba, Majeda Senan Duba. Sungu Chungu than Tumba Deva Jevas, Sanjay Jiten to Chang do any Sanjay Jiten to Chumba Yinza, the Kangala Jig Shen Yigishan, Sanjay Jiten to Jono, Chuju Kolo Goro Sia Dratu, Siziba to Chavanu Sierra within the Sizis, that's how setting Salasun de Chavanu, Nebeba, then Jiten Sulu Drasia. Kashik said, Jiden Sun Sizile Gone, Sizile Dayot and Anjo Tassidon, Yonji, Jiden Sun Sia Sao setting Salasumri. The Cheva Trabala then, and Jideva Samaga Yunenze, Sanjega Yunjum Leto, Suna Sayaga Dandala, the Sunyunze, Jideva Sunyum Puati Churne, Suna Jachimusova Nangiori. Then Naji Chevapu, Ron Hale Sevala Chevapu, Ron Bambana Sanjani, the Samiji Chevala Lungube, the on Jutunri, Jury. Tanajin Jidena, Yang Sanji Jidin the Johnson, Siakangolo Sanji Duvachi. Tanaji Chevata Duvachi. Yan Sanji Nanda Yandaban Josia, Yandaban Julu to the New York, the honest Sulu de la Yandaban Josia de la Gomashi, Kayamasoma, Kavayu, Chokujuba, Chokujubu in the Kavaju de Kusin now de what Yandaban Josi. Or didn't turn but any cheering Gumia did it. Then choose soon, but I miss the choose soon at some Sanjay choose soon. Choose, but she didn't say they are all choose somebody. They don't turn a hard on, they have jet. That is jet, cheering gum, cheering legato. Or that is jet schedule. That not the Yadaban Juba Tumba, cheering Goya, the Shibushe to me, Michel. Chozo Gula Gachi, Magun Shedge Mevachi.
So the the next point is a part which contains the making of the usual offerings, and as well as the offering of the praise, and then the recitation of the mantra. So then this is explained with respect to the with respect to Buddha. When he appeared in this world, then he he turned the wheel of Dharma. He set the wheel of the wheel of Dharma in motion. And so that act, that great deed of the Buddha was then known in all the three great realms of life, and on this earth, and even to the very peak of the psychic existence, the great deed of the Buddha is heard everywhere because it was such a great deed to benefit a great number of sentient beings. So in a similar way, that that one then comes to accumulate merit through making offerings. And then the second one is that when Buddha appeared, there were a lot of people who have made offerings of the praise and the compliment, seeing the Buddha's special qualities. They have made a lot of praises of Buddha. And then third one is that to remain in a meditative stabilization of the Buddha, and that is when the special form of the Buddha, such as like the Nimanakaya form, when the Buddha takes a sleep, then usually it looks like that he's taking a sleep, but usually he remains in a meditation. He remains in a very deep samadhi and a very deep meditative stabilization, And as a symbolic of that we have the meditation on the body mandala, and then another way of benefiting sentient beings is by Buddha's teaching, and that comes through his speech, and through that a lot of sentient beings are being helped through his speech. And a symbolic of that we have the practice of reciting the mantra, and all of these are the very essence of the practice which belong to the generation stage of the Tantra.
Ta chöde jevala yang sungle nachu jinji lawu seade ma jibe de seba de chöde de mar nachu jinla de yegda le chenle che yo yin za mo ri ina nachu jinla khasin shu jung yo ma ri ni de da she jung yo ma ri tin san de she shan de yo ri nachu ji dan de lo ri ya e ali long de tan sha.
So here when you make the offering, so first that you have to bless the offering, so that can be done only from the in offering. So therefore His Holiness had not explained yet how to bless the in offering. So therefore he will explain here in what manner that you have to generate and to visualize the in offering and its blessing and so forth.
Niwa jene vaso soba chodyon debe ne yu la song shi jinji la ba cha de no shu ju shi kanya rong de zi ru da ba wo ge tor ma chen la le chong wa da ra ami de kha ju ji men rang ge wen ning ge sa ben de chu de zi chi ba ba de me wa zhi de ju shi la ni be ski na cha che ji wu chu chen bu de ba jen do jiang ren do zhe ba ra sa mo su ba ba kha ju ji men ju shi ne de ji ba ding dong nie chen be ta me jin tang xian de de zi ji那他现他的东北讲东北话里边的那位，这东西说那天年，杨虎学的中龙的中国人，也有位让先讲过那个嘛，年到这个人个员都出单吧，这都让马步年到来种没经过，把位让先马步做松吧，所以让个都。这个看到钱吧，你就古木的看到钱吧，这都我们红干嘛听说的，就我们那边几个送的，都阿里就一些个吧，人家说确实的有有古多是一些我也，那我看我们看张红那么来的人啊，他们现在有那么说，也古多有一些我也我老妈帮当帮来想啊，我有明白在那说的用一些，就是有的时候就是吧。上了我们来送去经济了吧？但是确实经济了吧？讲让个用问题上，我确实咱们得注些大些去确保了没得那去呢。特别就托了些阿没得给什么的说不要他妈讲我说空的了，他们俺确实长得样呗。刚来头把养心家确实弄的这种一些，而且红日的说的就全员说，确实那些东西那把确实说，这里我们住，我们说的地方全部一些切不进。这边呢，那个前边呢，那边前边送的这边上了，我们阿红八的阿红白色贝贝阿红洗漱，马就进州到这，看他家的，这个在送的就进去那不这样，今年搞来每夜到不到。然后到我的天气节目的没到我天，到我的每天拍下上去等到天气节目的上星期买把的东北，我的确把当拿去说节把呢东北电影都下把当每到我天气节目的电影东北都下把老师我写了因为如东北如写说把当就把来讲我们东北属于老师我说这马上把也其他等等属于说东西西把的那么就这些我们东西但是这些就西把当，现在是说东西下把老师我爸爸也是用那里马都说把那的。那送把他的欧美大约3年前把这几年都把印度的嘛这东西也看的经过了结果了结果他经过去过了东把的对吧呀什么呢对他不过过去没对他样公别他做人就告诉我这里边就没过去嘛他就没过我说的就把他样对就天气里大白就他过去嘛他第你送到就个说把他们路边那么这就有点他就对他们就在那讲，他们讲前不讲，在那讲而且对他们年龄过的些说不上来，也那几年因为对他们少见3年对他空头确不加过少，但呢我们但呢让个你看的注意确了注意的我们爱的些说起经济那边确不冷的，但呢他的结巴那配备我们叔叔有的现在已经对了做生意的我就把它绿全了的东。 Ni Niba so Chona Ti Dunya Niba so Chebe Mu Cheber Jenjo La Chumbara Sam Laria Rangi Tingana Lamuru Janju de Oma de Sabar Oma Aon Shi Drube Na Shi Drube Na Shui Chi Duzini Ju de Pue Chebe Mu de Dungi Shi Jebara Sama de Dara Daji Lala Cheba Niba the Pue Good de Timana Devo Sanji Sai Yung Dai Shili Longje Yongsu Daba Danaba Tumba Tumbe Lamu Modo Meba Juve Langondo Meba Juve Chero Niba Toba Niverang Nigan de Development Yula Chazmeba Badu Meba Jude Tamaja Yukubin de Dagi Ceremony Duvela She so Jeto She was Samosu Yude Juji Dube Dube Modu Shiver Jula Jiversam Churching Dube Samona Jingi Sabella Do Niba de Soli as I could not regime about how to email Chizama Neva Jugut Yogo de Veceri Zo Yukesha She Somatara Sam der Tamatata de Vala Mijuba Rabata Veceri Jubala Neto Tushi Gubituna de Vala Juba Ino They are Tomara Jiri Rabagone de Tarchimana Jeri Chamula Ju Rabagumbala Jigula Den Vesena Duvada Jugula Den Nature Jamba Then over Naje Najelan Juba they are Raje Mebe Subsini Sola Lava China Dinga Chadi the Guana Woga Chadi Juba Nam Nala Nua Nedon de Guba Nizele Song Shimiciri Jumuchimo Dalijan Tijan to Sumbe Go Gubachi to Ne de Dagi Nanu de Lula La Lemorjan Gona Shene Tobango Song in the Jiri Senata Nature Kasi Meba Druja de Darango Masoi Mason the Jiri go and there is Shene Drew Gushi they are Jiri Jiri Rabala Den Nivenkodo Shene Jitama Drew de Jiri Chamula Den Shene Senior Drew Good Su Medeji Shebara Zamle Junsumo Udali Nibanga for the JJ Devil Joe She Sumbatar Lancheji Shine Jego Nivida Juwatar and the Nyangi de Juwatar and the Nibar Lang Nichu Gushi. They go as high in the Jurogumbo Pemochi, Devazan, just Rivali, Gajas, Senala, Yanun, Doba, Su, Mijechi, Gashiki, Yanun, Doba, Ku, Yashukul Jijam, Jiri de Tedo, Terando. Ganson Ju Chobaje de Mina Jungu Jabali, Lanchi Sani, Jaguba Mahibe, Jerry Rabazana, and Watama, and Mukamatara Juba said, or Lanchi Shini to Tunin Jagulamas, Utania Sakondu, Gori so, Pabejo, Paju Chimona, Livasombe, Dingaze, Rotseji, Nama Kondi, Lalendo, Church, Bemanga, Samulana, Meba, Mendene, Sumanam. Sumatara Juna Jumuchimoda to meeting as a Tsede Jishin and Tsede Jela. They are Jelashing you, Chechu, Jenta Jelly, Cheba do Pabe, Samne, Tumo Imbatan, never Nieto. Tashashi Wintadi. Chirilo and Gorolo, Pechiri Chiri, Dema. Tasani. Remember Sunny Shoge, Chajan, Chuzo Goody, good checker. Good. What the Chajan to Jano you thought, Chuzuji. They were true in any Kadega Duna, Sagamaruashi, Masaba Yinza, young Yamujel Sogoman Rosangi, young Yamujel Chalegi, Jogumedu Chunukach, Sunny Malaya, Lenteruch. Tenia Sunny Masan Yusha. Jomantivayo, Josashi, the Boru, the Joan, the Majabala, Joan Insid, Jira, Chevra Donsash, Janashan Vileo, the mentioned Dio, Joan, the Judge, the Tani, Anima, the Kudma, Jenny, the Andi, the young Jajani, Karchen, to serve Papa Joe, Jomashi, Famaji, Sally, which I'm
So, as long as we will stop there for today. And he will continue tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock, and then it will take the like usual finish around 1 o'clock, and then he would like to continue again after a little break. And if anybody will not have time to come for the last session, and then they should sort of then tell His Holiness they won't have time, and in that case he can continue to finish that sometime after. And after the initiation of the Chu, which has to be given on Sunday because it has already been announced. So people are coming to receive that. And then in that case he will find time after the Chu initiation to continue from the whatever it will be left to be explained from this. No.
Dāgye chenye sāve gyōwa Tenbe nyambo rindu se Sanje